Hi folks, this is a recording for lab number 6, and so there's a correction in this lab that I sent out. Make sure you get this correction that I have with this. Well, this lab is kind of like a transition lab. Those of you that are planning to go to Computer Science 1437 is the following course with this thing, Program Fundamentals 2 with this thing. So I need for you to, there's some things in here that I think that will prep you in preparing for the next course with it. So there's 5 parts to this lab. They're 4 points each, 20 points in all. And at the end, I have a little bonus for you for part 6 with it. So to set up the hello world in Java. So if we could do that and get this turned in with it. But there's about 5 for the first 5 parts. And the key thing is I want you to walk away with this part is to understand is abstraction and a little bit about the for loops and the arrays that we're about to create from chapter 1 to all the way up to chapter 8 in this right now. So I'm going to walk you through this with it. So as it states here, you're going to be building this as in Visual Studio. And when you turn this in for a complete lab, you have 5 documents, 1 project with 5 separate CPP files. You will exclude each of one of them and take screenshots and do as each one of the parts will ask you to do. Part 6 is the 2 points bonus. That includes the hello world.java and the class files with this thing. And I have a video for you to actually to set this thing up as well. Again, part 6 is a bonus. This is the hello world in Java that you will do that will prepare you for the next course that you would take. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the first part of this thing. It's really cut and dry. I really put this together for you to take away message. Make sure you understand the process of abstraction. Abstraction is 1 is to write the function, 2 is to write the function prototype, and 3 you come back, you call that function inside of your int main. So 1, 2, 3 is the abstraction process for the same with it. So I like for you to look at this image and put the code that I have on here. This is kind of like a little, there's a reference parameter used in here as well with it, so you get used to it. Again, you write step 1 is you write the int largest with these signatures with it as a reference parameter, and inside this int largest function that you have, it has a reference parameter after the ampersand after the data type that will, remember, that will stick in the memory when you change it, and when you call it back inside of the int main, the scope of A, B, and C here is only within the largest, but the scope inside of your int main will stick in that memory when you call it. It doesn't go back to its original memory that's when it was stated with it. So the first thing I would do, again, set it up as your 5 checkpoints with this thing, and I like for you to come in and write your function, put your skeleton in, and just fill in this part in with it. As you can see in this particular code, it compares basically the big to A, and then it just toggles between the structure with it. So, and then this is a value returning function. So by the end of the day, you got to return whatever the value of this int that starts out with this function. Now, I share with you in C++ there's 2 types of function in my lecture. One type of function is what? Is the user-defined, right? User-defined function has value and there's void. Int, if you recall from anything that starts with a data type, a simple data type, that is considered as your simple data type, simple value returning function. So this big right here is declared initialized as an int, and so is this function. So the data type has to match when you return that. So when you come up to your function prototype of this thing, so I did this already, so I'll walk you through this process with it. So what hold on. So this is the function that we just looked at. you're writing, again, this is a value function. The function name is called largest, and it has this signature as ABC. Okay, now later on in this next exercise we're about to do is we're going to overload a function. When you overload a function, you can change the type, the data type of it. You can actually change the signature of it or the sequence of this. It's called the signature or your parameter. So in this function, you initialize as big as your data type is 0, and you're going to pass this A. This parameter A is this one. If it's greater than this B, which is this B, and if it is greater, you're going to assign A assigned to this memory called big. If this is false, you're going to come down here. You're going to assign B is going to assign to this memory. Now this is a selection statement, but both of these are false. You can always come down and do a comparison between C is greater than B or big, and you're going to assign C is going to be big. And at the end of the day, you return only one value that's from the value returning function, and that value is closest to your semicolon. Okay, so this is just your typical returning value function with it. So you take this function header right here, you highlight that, you come up to your second step is to put in your function prototype plus your semicolon. So this completes a second step. You come in third step, you do ABC. Remember now, this ABC, the scope of this is only between your int main function. You prompt the user to find the largest number. You store this number in as A. You do the next line as B, next line is C. Now, you call that function, it's called largest. Look at this. This largest will pass across a parameter, it's A, B, and C, which parallels with this A, this B, and this C with it. So this signature has to be the same signature as this one, and that's assigned to large. So it goes through and returns the value of big. Whatever you do here, this will come out as this large function is assigned to this large. So this large is this large. Okay. So if you did this right, this is what you're supposed to get is if you do Control F5 and I ask you to take the screenshot of this thing, just to type in some numbers that you have in here. So it should give you the largest is whatever number that you have. Okay, take the screenshot of this and you paste it into the program at the bottom of the Word program with this thing. Okay.